Hi guys, and welcome back to the Level Up Podcast.
Hello.
It's season 2, episode 2.
Episode 2 of 2026.
Yeah. Sorry for the slight delay in the podcast.
Yeah, but we're just getting everything set for 20. I mean, nothing really happens until 2 weeks after.
Yeah. Well, and we had that important business call that took up Friday.
Oh yeah.
End of day.
Yeah. Well, yeah. There you go. That pushed it, right?
Yeah. So that was the reason.
Yeah. Better late than never.
Exactly. So today's topic is taking initiative in the world of uncertainty. And it was kind of spurred by our podcast.
Yeah.
The last one sort of started it. And then the blog post that we've recently done as well.
Yeah. So,
and the call from Friday.
As well. Yeah. It's about forging a new path,
Exactly. So the brief intro: never before in history has the path forward felt so unclear and at the same time so full of possibility. Like, there's so much out there that you can become part of or get involved with or just work on.
Well, literally, you can do probably anything you want.
Yeah.
Right? There's nothing holding you back. So, I mean, that's really where we are. I think the common thread for most people is that reference point. People used to sort of look back to, who did it before, sort of any material, any, books, case studies, documentaries, sort of on, people walking the walk before you start. But, chances are how it was done before won't really apply today because all the rules have changed.
Yeah, exactly. So there's nobody that you can really follow.
No.
So you might as well take your own lead.
Yeah, most people are smart and they'll figure it out. The key is to start.
Yeah. The
key is to do something. That's really the key. I think we're going from, we're heading into an era of, there is no more status quo, right? Whereas you used to just basically like, well, I want to be a doctor, a lawyer, an accountant, or a phys ed teacher, and then there was a clear cut, path to take. Today it's very, very different. Yeah.
Definitely. So that's what today's podcast is all about.
Yeah, it's really about just forging a new way forward in a time of uncertainty.
So we will start with the first question. Why does the future feel more daunting now than any other time in history? So I think we've kind of touched on all this in the last couple podcasts, but...
Yeah, I think the major thing is that, once again, before they left breadcrumbs, they left trails. There were clear-cut paths that you followed that would pretty well take you to, your chosen destination. You had a roadmap.
Yeah.
Today, not so much.
Yeah.
Today, not so much.
It's not even there.
Not even there. There's no guarantees.
Yeah, and everything. Everything's just changing so rapidly. With AI coming in, so you don't know what departments are going to get cut in a large organization.
There's sweeping changes. If you noticed, something interesting, I guess, just recently. I haven't done a deep dive into this, so I'm just paraphrasing what I believe I've read, but they're putting in California, the state of California, United States, a billionaire's tax, right? And anyone who has over $1 billion is scheduled to pay about $5 million in taxes, I believe, per billion.
Okay.
Something like that, right? So right now you have a billionaire drain taking place. A lot of the billionaires, I believe, Sergey from Google and the founders of Google, who have a lot of business interests there, are basically, I read an article, again, I don't know, don't quote me on this, it's just something I saw, that they might be, looking to relocate a lot of their business interest
elsewhere.
And I'm sure they're not the only ones.
Mm-hmm.
So when things like that happen,
it makes a big shift.
That's major disruption. Everything. Like that's gonna change Silicon Valley. That's gonna change.
Yeah, if that's a possibility, then yes, it's going to,
it's going to have a rippling effect. So these are the type of things that basically are happening today on a massive scale. So judging your path forward, you have to be very careful. Not to don't bite off more than you can chew. I was talking to someone just the other day, and he was saying, we were talking about just getting financing, and I just said, well, I don't think financing is what you need. I think if you could basically, bootstrap whatever idea or whatever you're trying to do and get a proven entity, something that works and something that's actually waterproof too, right? This thing has to be buoyant. It has to be, robust, because you don't know what's going to happen. Like, one little change, one little, disruptor, and you could be out of business. So you really have to pay attention to what you're trying to accomplish. I mean, there's so much that's coming down the pipe that you have to make sure you're not in direct line of, because it could basically just wipe you out.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
So, what's question number 2?
So question 2 is, what are the benefits of moving forward even when there isn't a clear path?
Yeah, well, more and more, I think that just individuals who have literally just followed, the status quo, or followed the path laid down for them by, high school, college, university, graduate school, higher education, PhD, master's, whatever, right? That's a path. That's been a clear path forever. As long as
it gave you the end result that you were trying to get to. Gave you the end result,
or close to it, right? Or choices, within that reach within the framework of the effort you put into academia. Now, I think you have to trust your gut.
Yeah, I think you have to rely on yourself.
Yeah, but the thing is, and this is the unfortunate part, is that life leaves clues. I think you, like most people at the age of 20, 20, 25, they start knowing, like, by that time, the synergy of your life. If you're a lucky person, if you're not, right?
True.
If you're a hard worker, if you're not. If things work out for you or they don't.
Yeah.
And those are the things that are going to guide you through your entire life. Like if
True.
you're totally an unlucky person, don't go into an industry that requires luck, that requires connection, that requires that things work out, because you won't be successful. But if you are happy-go-lucky and things just work out for you, well, become an entrepreneur. Do something bold, because chances are that luck's going to translate into results for you down the road. I think it's when we start trying to fit square pegs into round holes, like if that your life does not work a certain way, you kind of have to be adult enough or smart enough or responsible enough to say, well, chances are I should just opt for maybe the safer option, or something
to find yourself a stable organization, or a foolproof organization.
A good fit, because most entrepreneurs, they've figured out that the harder you work, the luckier you get. That's just how it works. If you're a professional athlete, the more you practice, the better you become.
Yeah.
Right? That's just like anything else. If you're a sailor, right, of boats or ships or yachts or whatever, the more you experience the ocean, the better you become.
Yeah.
It's the same with everything.
Yeah.
So get a sense of who you are, get a sense of where your strengths are, like if you're not good at math, well, I don't think you should be an accountant. You may want to be an accountant. Maybe it's something that you aspire to be, but you have to, unless you want your life to be a struggle every single day.
Yeah. An unnecessary struggle. Find something you're good at. Find something that comes naturally to you. Find something that you excel at. Yeah.
And then see where you can take that.
Yeah. And I guess be aware of the changes that are going on.
And be aware of the changes that are going on.
And how you can add value.
Well, the thing is that if you find something that you're naturally gifted at, a true calling, chances are you could weather whatever storm gets thrown at you. Because you've got an aptitude for it.
Yeah.
But if you're already a fish out of water, and then rough times come, you're going to be the first to get thrown overboard. Because if you're basically just trying to hold on, there's no way you could basically adapt.
Yeah.
You know, and pivot quickly enough.
Yeah, because you're back here.
You're still back there. They're going to take the people who are resilient, the people who are able to basically redefine an industry, you know, redesign a sector of the market, you know, like, you know, whatever it is, whether it's medicine, whether it's, you know, entertainment, whether it's sports, whether it's finance, you know, whether it's law, you know, you want the people that have an aptitude for those disciplines. And that's really what you have to do, is figure out what that is. It may be baking, maybe it's stats, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's, if you're going to forge a new way forward, find something that comes naturally to you that you can basically excel at without rules and regulation and a roadmap.
Yeah. And in an industry that's not getting changed dramatically
through AI or economic upheaval. Yeah.
Okay.
And again, these are just my opinions. Right?
Yeah, exactly. So basically, find something that you're good at, that you excel at, and work towards that.
Yeah, like this tech thing, I love it. I mean, and I get it. And you have an aptitude. Well, you have an aptitude for a lot of things.
Yeah, but that's just easy.
This is easy for you. You're able to figure things out, like, you know.
So that's it. Because it's uncertain anyway, so you might as well take something.
You might as well. You know, you can actually become a leader.
Yeah.
You know, as long as your ideas are sound, and if they're able to basically translate
it's got to be founded in
application
facts.
and you, it has to be a usable model by the time you're done. But as long as you take the initiative and you push forward with something and you fill a need and it makes sense, there's no reason why you won't be successful. It's unlimited.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because in today's environment, we definitely need leaders.
Absolutely. 100%.
So if you got that leadership skill,
don't need any more followers.
You can start a new chapter or journey for yourself.
Well, the world is going to look very different 5 years from now.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
Okay, so question 3. How does uncertainty become an advantage rather than limitation?
Well, in my opinion, uncertainty is the landscape for which beautiful things can be made. Before, you were basically lucky to be let in, right?
Yeah, if you got in, you were just like, oh, okay, I'm not going to rock the boat.
Not going to rock the boat.
I'm just going to stay here till I ride out my retirement.
Right, retirement, just going to basically do everything they ask of me. And
the generations above us.
That was the generations above us. I mean, with this, we can make the future. We can contribute to how life is created on every level. Yeah.
Because everything's changing so dramatically.
Everything's changing, but everything's changing, but all of the answers are at our fingertips.
Yeah, if you take the time.
Yeah, it's like, you know, I'll give you an example with our Immunitech thing and our participation in that. Isn't it amazing how everything that we understand of it is just evolving? It's like, the longer you stay in, and we have so much to share with people. Yeah. Like when we do finally decide to roll that out and we know what that's going to look like. Yeah. But what we're learning is like phenomenal. Like, I mean, even our latest, you know, idea we came up with over the weekend, you know, with the real-time tracking of the results. Yeah. You know, through tracking Fitbits. I mean, and you see it. You literally can see the transformation.
Yeah. And it's just, to me, I like getting that information.
That information firsthand, but you can basically start the program, and then over the next 6 months or so, you're able to basically look at your, like, everything. It's right there for you. So, but these are things that you do once you stay in. Yeah. And once you stay in something long enough, it starts making more sense. Well, hey, what about this? What if we couple this with this? And
yeah, well, we've already put everything else together.
We've already put everything else together.
This is for another podcast, but that's okay.
But literally, if you find something you love to do, you just keep evolving with it.
Yeah.
There's going to be new things, new technologies, new things that just fit.
Yeah.
And then you could basically say, then it went from, sort of a simple, hey, this is great, to we've got a whole solution for you.
Yeah, for your health.
For your health. A whole health solution.
Yeah. So, that's pretty exciting.
That's very exciting. That's
and
very
we've been
exciting.
taking the product for 2-3 years
3
now.
years now, and it's been phenomenal.
So, and that, just doing that on its own has made a huge difference in my life and your life.
Absolutely. But then to be able to basically couple it with monitoring, and because that's where science is going.
Yeah.
You catch a problem before it, hits.
Yeah.
So I could basically go on my tracking device and go, oh, wow, okay, I did this many steps today. My heart rate was here. My sleeping pattern, so you're able to basically put all that together and say, well, how could I improve on something rather than waiting for that visit to the doctor?
Yeah, because everybody, I think, wants to optimize their health.
Optimize their health.
Especially when you're getting older.
Older, absolutely. Yeah. Health is the number one.
Yeah, that's
thing.
The one thing.
That's the one thing. Because if your health is fading, or when you don't have good health, nothing else matters.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't focus on
nothing
other
else.
things.
What really else matters, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Okay. So, how can reframing uncertainty as an adventure change our mindset?
Well, the thing that's an interesting question.
Yeah.
And here's why. Forever, right? Life has been a struggle.
Yes.
Like, okay, as soon as you basically are born, you get to be a kid for the first 5 years. Then you get to be a young, I wouldn't say a kid anymore, but you start developing your character over the next 5 years to 10. Then by 11 to 20, you figure out who you are, right?
Yeah.
All during that time, you're basically being put through a system, right?
Correct.
And the thing is that I think school is important. I think people should go to school. There's a few people that it just doesn't work for, and they're intuitively smart enough to basically, skip. And I'm not talking about high school. I think high school is essential because it gives us a sense of order and responsibility.
Yeah, and social engagement.
And so forth. And that's where you really have to figure out who you are in that space, right? And in that space, there's safeguards, and there's I don't want to say, moderators, but there are checks and balances in there to keep you, more or less on some kind of path, right? So I think it's extremely important.
Yeah.
But then after, you have to figure out exactly, I think, if you're going to school, just for the sake of going to school, I don't see the point of that. But if you have actually a passion to learn something, and you want to basically pursue a field of study, then I think you should.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
But I think today it's becoming less and less necessary for you to basically pursue a 4-year degree or graduate school, simply because you can learn just as much by doing.
Yeah. Well, exactly, because some people can just sit there and spend hours on the internet searching everything.
YouTube is its own university.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Anything you want to learn.
Yeah. So you don't necessarily have to go to an academic school.
No, you've learned everything from YouTube.
Hands-on, yeah. Anything I don't know how to do. It's something simple, and they're just things I've never done before.
Well, to you they're simple, but to a lot of people they're difficult. You're able to do a ton of things. Yeah. Right? To you they're simple, but to most people,
it wasn't simple because I had to go to YouTube.
There's that. But I think really, if you basically choose what you want to do, find out what you want to do. Yeah. You can basically go learn all the steps necessary, and between YouTube and ChatGPT and maybe DeepSeek, along with There's a couple other really good search engines and sort of AI forums you could basically get information from, and they'll lay out a plan for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you could literally build an entire platform, SaaS platform in a month.
Yeah.
Without writing, a line of code.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much information showing exactly how to go about doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there's nothing you can't do.
Yeah. So it's sort of find your niche and expand on it.
Well, the reality of it is, if you want to break it down to sort of nuts and bolts, if you go to school to get a computer science degree, that'll take you 4 or 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
By the time you get out, the disciplines you've learned will no longer apply.
Yeah.
And AI can do it in 4 or 5 days. Yeah. So.
Yeah, by the time even you finish a 2-year program, things are going to change, and you're going to be out of date.
You're going to be out of date. So.
And then you'll be going back to school to do something else.
It's more realistic to actually school yourself. Mm-hmm. Create your own curriculum. Ongoing, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, what was the question? How can reframing uncertainty as an adventure change our mindset? Well, I think it just opens you up to the different opportunities that are out there.
Well, yeah, and the other thing too is that there's not so many people there waiting to say no, because I saw this other article, I forwarded it to you. I don't know if you got a chance to look at it, but basically it said that the head of Tubi, which is a streaming platform, her comment was, before, she wished she knew back in 2017 or 18, whenever she started and she got the position at Tubi,
mm-hmm.
she wished she knew that most of the people at the top are still uninformed.
They don't know all the answers. They don't have all the answers.
They don't have all the answers.
So
just start.
Right? And then you can work and partner up with the other people that know the information that you don't know.
Absolutely. Well, what they're doing is basically they suffer from imposter syndrome as well.
Mm-hmm.
But they have the courage to try and fail.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, well, that doesn't work. Let's do it this way.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's really the adventure. If you are willing to try, you've got life beat.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're waiting for everything to make sense and to come up with this plan, and you're going to start it and execute it from A to B, and it's going to take you 2 years, good luck.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck with that, because life is changing rapidly, and there's no guarantee that the fundamentals of when you started are going to be the same even 5 months, 6 months from now.
No, for sure.
So adaptability,
you gotta just start.
And you have to be adaptable. You have to be adaptable.
Yeah.
You have to be flexible.
Yeah, for sure, and resilient.
And extremely resilient.
And it's just like, okay, well, we'll go this way now that we can't go that way.
Well, I think you don't get character by not being resilient. I think resilience is the price you pay for success.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to just come, like, nobody just starts and basically puts around and doesn't do anything and then is successful. Successful comes with a pretty hefty price tag.
Yeah.
You have to work at it. You have to fail. You have to be, most of us, everybody, I think, wakes up and they're questioning their ability. And they're like, oh my gosh, and what am I going to do? Can I do it? Am I good enough? I think that has become commonplace, that everybody goes through those same insecurities.
Mm-hmm.
And the only difference between success and failure is you go through, you do what you got to do anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so question 5.
Mm-hmm.
What is one practical step we can take today to build confidence in the future?
Well, this is what I do, right?
Sure, go ahead.
For me, I basically look at life like, I look back at where I started from,
mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And I say, if I could get from where I was, and
to where I am
to
now,
where I am now,
I'm gonna be okay.
I'm gonna be okay.
Yeah.
True. If I could, from where I was, to where we are today, I'm gonna be just fine.
Yeah. Then there's nothing stopping you.
No, there's nothing I can't do.
Exactly. I kind of see it that way.
You know what I mean? It's like
it's like, well, you managed to get through all this stuff, so
If you had
You're
asked
meant
me,
to do more.
if you had said basically 10, 20 years ago, you'll end up exactly here doing this with you, a best friend, and, fighting these battles, I'd be like, yeah, I wish, but no way. Yeah, no way in hell. Right? Couldn't see it.
Surprise.
Yeah, because, we stuck to it.
Yeah.
That's why. There were times I always say this when I should have given up, but I'm just like, well, then what?
Likewise. There's a lot of people that probably would have said you should have stopped.
Well, there's a lot of people right now who are saying they should stop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you can't. When you
just
stop,
keep going.
It's done.
Yeah.
Because
then where do you go?
Then what do you
do? Especially in today.
Well, today they say it's harder to actually maintain a job than to actually work towards your own shop, your own business. Jobs today, they suck your soul. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah, way more so than what they used to.
Yeah, than what they used to.
Like, you and I both worked in very high demanding jobs.
Industries, yeah.
So that was just part of it.
Yeah.
But it's worse now because everybody thinks because they've got their phones and they've got their laptops with them that they are available 24/7. It's like, no, you're not.
Yeah, but I think the expectations on employees today is unrealistic and unreasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a bit too much.
Yeah.
I don't think employment was ever supposed to be like that. I think at a certain point you're supposed to be able to, get into an industry that was more concerned with, just steady, reasonable growth, not, 100% growth year after year after year.
Yeah.
Like most people today, even if they're really good, they become victims of their own success because, okay, you've done this quarter, double it next quarter.
Yeah, and then it's like, really?
Yeah, then
it's like, now how do I do that?
Recipe
because
for
I already
disaster.
pulled a rabbit out of my hat to get that one.
Recipe for disaster. Because then you start basically compromising your integrity and bending the rules, and it's happening everywhere, in every industry.
Yeah.
It's like you could basically take 10, 20 years to become $1 billion company. You don't need to do it in 2.
5. 2 or 5, yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
But that seems to be what a lot of people are doing.
Yeah.
And it's to the expense of any quality of life, right?
Yeah.
If you don't have that, like, I'd rather make, $500,000 over 10 years than $1 million in 2, because then what happens after the 2? Right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Time value of money is still an important thing, and if you're basically only going to be around a short period because of how you're running your industry.
Yeah. You're gonna burn out all your people.
Yeah, so when you guys basically start making money, make sure it's in a sustainable industry, in a sustainable way that you're executing your KPIs, because I think people just they're no good just if they're always burnt out. No,
people do need a bit of time to recharge and regroup and focus on other things.
You kind of have to like at least a bit what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because you have to do it every day.
Yeah.
Right?
Very true.
For a long time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they had it good in the 50s and 60s when basically a job was secure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was secure, and it was very set time.
And stable.
It was like 9 till 5, and that was it.
Yeah.
And then you had time to do your own stuff.
Yeah, you had time to grow as an individual. Yeah. You had time to, like, most people are into health stresses because of work.
Yeah. Yeah, because their work's putting too much
stress on them, and so they're ending up in the ER and nervous breakdowns and substance, like,
all that stuff.
All that stuff is a result of being overworked and badly treated. Because if you're in a good place and you're in a healthy place, you're not abusing your body, you're not abusing your siblings, you're not abusing your spouses, you're not abusing your children. It's that stuff comes from undue stress.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, I don't want to Dr. Phil y'all today, but
we
must do better.
We can all do better.
We can all do better.
We can always do better. Okay, so question 6, because we got off on a little bit of a tangent
there,
is, what are 4 things we can do to shift how we think about the future and uncertainty?
Okay.
So,
number 1, I think we have to stop looking at as I don't believe we should look at the future as taking risk. I think the biggest risk is actually not trying.
Yeah, not doing anything.
Not doing anything. I think that we have to normalize basically. Okay, what am I going to start? You know, I need to make my life better. I have to basically stop playing it safe, and I have to go out there and actually build a life that makes sense. Yeah. Right. 2, I think it's time that we stop putting so much emphasis on, well, I did everything right. Because I know a lot of people who said, well, I went to university, I went to college, and I studied for this, and I did that. There is no right and wrong way. No. There never has been. There's just different ways. There's just different ways. Embrace an alternative. There's, you know, more than one way to get to the top of the mountain. Yeah. Find yours.
More than one way to get to the same answer.
Yeah, if you're going to basically be sitting there and saying, well, you know, I'm pissed off because I did everything right and I did what society said and I've got a degree and this person's getting ahead, you're the only one losing.
Yeah. The other person's winning.
There's a lot of people. Let's get some water. There's a lot of people winning out there.
So just because they go about a different process to get there.
Yeah, this is a Fiji break, guys. Fiji water break. Yeah, no, I mean, you know, stop blaming the system. Yeah. Right? That the system doesn't guarantee you success. No. You know, and if you're willing to basically take the initiative, go out there and start something, anything, yeah, and make it interesting. Like every streamer, you look at Mr. Beast, you look at I Show Speed, and I'm not too familiar with YouTube streamers, but they've done extremely well. But they all started with nothing, like maybe 10 people going to see them in the beginning. Yeah, and they just kept to it. Kept going, and it's when you make that decision and you commit to doing something. It takes a while for the world to catch up, but if you believe in what you're doing and you become really good at it, the world will meet you there. Yeah, and you'll get success. The world likes authenticity. If people know that you're serious about what you're doing and you are who you say you are, that's what they care about more than what you're selling. Yeah. Right? Why is somebody going to buy something from me rather than you? Because they trust my messaging more. Yeah. Because I look like I truly care about what I'm representing. I make them feel something. Yeah. If you make somebody feel something, chances are they'll mess with you. Yeah. Definitely. So number 3 is don't be afraid to fail. You truly gain when you fail. You don't learn anything by not failing. Yeah. Not failing doesn't teach you anything. By not failing, by always winning, you're like, well, yeah. Yeah, you're one more reason to say that works. Well, the worry there is that if you ever do fail, you're screwed. Yeah, so you won't know how to. You won't know how to navigate, and the thing is that if you don't know what you're doing right by winning all the time, failure teaches you what you need to do better. How you need to do it better. Yeah, and then hopefully you learn from it, and then you roll it into something else. Well, the thing is, life will never penalize you for failing. I mean, you look at what happened in Jamaica with the hurricane. You look what happened with COVID. The world literally shut down. You look what happened in the First World War, Second World War. These were massive global failures. But what happens is you rebuild again better. Yeah, and people are stronger. People are stronger. Failure is not final. It's a part of the process. It's a part of life. Fail big and fail often until you're able to get it right. Right? And the last thing I'm going to say to people is basically you can't do it alone. No. You can't do it alone. You cannot do it. Find your tribe. You need to find your tribe. If the people with you are doubting you, holding you back all the time, giving you negative energy, that's not your tribe. There's people out there who are going to basically say, hey, what are you going to do? What are you doing? What are you into? That sounds amazing. Well, is there anything I can do to help you? I mean, I grew up with people like that. That's what I understand. That's why you and I want to help everybody. Yeah. Right? Like, doesn't always work. doesn't always work. But well, that's because
the
a lot
story.
of that's a lot of reasons, because these people are programmed to not get help.
Mm-hmm.
That when they do start, or if somebody does offer up something and ask for nothing in return, they don't know how to respond.
Yeah,
they're still looking for the angle. They're like, well, what are you up to?
Yeah.
What
do you want?
What do you want? And they don't trust it.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Yeah. It's
But it's you also find it at a certain sector of society, and so and unfortunately, that part it's hardwired. You know, it's hard. It's almost like failure is hardwired. They expect to fail, so there's nothing you could say to them. That's where they're comfortable too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've learned that the hard way. I used to think everybody wanted to be successful. No, a lot of people just want to be at peace. They want their simple life. They want to basically feel that safety, that security of, it's not failure, but to them it's like, okay, I got my job, I got my beer, I got my hockey or whatever, I got my basketball, I got my girlfriend on the weekend, and got a couple of kids, and this is good. I'm good. So that's the risk they're willing to take, right? And if they don't have that, and if you don't have that, they can't relate.
Yeah, then that poses problems for sure.
Yeah, so, basically find your tribe. That's the last one I'd say, is that, you have to surround yourself with similar people going on a similar direction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
And question 7, running over today. Why does courage tend to attract opportunity over time?
So...
How do you feel about that?
Okay, so... I think what it is basically you learn courage. I mean, because I started out, I was scared shitless. I mean, I had no idea what I was doing, and I just know I didn't want to be back there. And back there, what I mean is basically, I wanted to be in a position, like, if I could have basically sold pumpkins on the side of the road, I'd have sold pumpkins on the side of the road, as long as I made my own hours and I basically was the boss.
Yeah.
Right? Like, people trusted me running their own companies, and I always did extremely well, so I was like, okay, I know how this is going to feel. I don't care what I do. That's why I told you many years ago. Because I said, you remember, it was back in, I think, 96 or 95. But I said, do you want to start a company? And the first thing you said to me, typical Deanna's response, is, doing what? And I said, I don't know. Doesn't matter. We'll figure it out, And that's what it was. Because I knew at that point long enough that no one was going to give me a fair shake. The way I am, my whole attitude, I'm not built to be an employee, And so if I basically tried to fit into that role for someone else's company, it would
fail.
But you saw how it was. When I did have jobs, it was terrible.
Yeah.
And not because I wasn't a good employee, it's just because basically they're like, well, yeah, you're a bit much for that, and we can't give you the company, so, yeah, they made it very uncomfortable for me, And so basically, in answer to the question, courage comes from just knowing where you belong, and knowing if you don't go for it and put yourself in that position, you're going to basically have a hard life. That's where the courage is. The courage is, it's basically like if I don't make a move here, if I don't believe in myself or start to believing in myself, I'm screwed. Yeah. Which would you prefer? The fear of failure or the fear of regret? Is what it comes down to, because, if I were to basically, if I didn't make all these moves, I would never have known whether or not I was, even remotely capable of doing any of this. Yeah. Now I know I'm highly capable. It's for us over the past 5-6 years, it's been situational. I mean, you've gone from COVID to the economy to AI to tariffs. I mean,
there's been a lot of fun.
There's been a lot, but each cycle you learn something.
Yeah, of course.
Like
you learned a tremendous amount in the past 5 years.
You're basically taking what's happening, and then you're basically putting it into what you're doing, and you're positioning it so that when everything sort of resolves itself, you're able to basically go back and go ahead, but with the knowledge of the real fundamentals, the real economic, fundamentals of, whatever environment, globally, locally, regionally. And so you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
We've had a real life socioeconomic history lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Before you used to read about these conditions maybe in history books or, past, desk references. But we went through it. We went through tariffs, which was thing, back in, what was the last tariff, major tariff thing?
Oh, it's been a very long time.
Yeah. I was reading somewhere. It's been a while, right? But we went through COVID. When was the last virus epidemic? Years, 40, 50, 60 years ago, maybe more. Mm-hmm. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Right? We've been through sort of, I guess which would have been the AI would be considered the Industrial Revolution or the discovery. We talked about it one example, discovery of electricity,
mm-hmm.
which has changed everything.
Yeah, for sure.
So we've, in the space of 5 or 6 years,
gone through all that.
Mm-hmm.
Gone through all that. And just keep maneuvering and repositioning.
Yeah. That would have wiped out most
pivoting.
Businesses.
Yeah, well, most businesses. There's a lot of businesses that aren't still here after COVID.
Here, and some pretty big businesses.
Yeah. And
so the reality is everything has changed.
Mm-hmm. So you have to look at everything different.
You have to look at everything different. So basically, if you, I think as long as you look and say, well, hey, none of this was my fault. Like no one person is responsible for everything that's happened, mm-hmm. and it's been a lot to deal with, right? Yeah. But then you have to sort of look, find a futurist that makes sense and say, okay, based on current global and economic trends, what are the best places to basically invest my time and effort? Yeah. That's how you determine a path forward. Exactly. And that's where we are. Yeah. But you have to basically take a path. You
got to take action.
Can't just wait for the economy to get better and hope to get a job. No. That's no longer a viable option. Hasn't been for a long time. Yeah.
Definitely not now.
No.
Okay. Anything else you want to add?
No, I think we hit this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, basically, the path ahead may feel unclear, but every step you take with courage reshapes what's possible. Yeah. So that's the
gist of it.
The gist of it. The key takeaway is, yes, there's uncertainty, but there's lots of opportunities.
Yeah, there's uncertainty with having a job, though. Yeah. Today, jobs aren't as secure as they were 20, 30 years ago. Yeah. There's no guarantees there. You have more of a chance basically working for yourself if mm-hmm. you find some way to, monetize some kind of industry or product or... Yeah. If you could do it for someone, you could do it for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So just keep moving forward. Keep staying curious. Yeah. And trust yourself. And
have faith in yourself. Yeah.
And that'll create your path forward.
Yeah, we're not here forever. So while you're here, you might as well basically give yourself the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, exactly. You give other people the benefit of the doubt, so why not give it to yourself too?
Absolutely. 100%.
Okay. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in to this week.
Thanks for coming by, and we'll see you guys again next week.
Yeah. And if you enjoyed our podcast, please share and like. Exactly. Just what Huey said. And we'll see you next week.
See you guys.
Okay. Take care.